Hello, and welcome to Rainy Tuesdays, a podcast by friends for friends. I'm Adam, and how you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
The usual crew of Ryan and Margo.
Yeah.
I didn't say it, and then I instantly was like, "Wait, maybe I should say it."
Well, it's first episode.
I was like, I said my name. I should probably say their names too.
No.
No, this is the Adam show now. I've usurped Margo.
Oh man. Whole
We're gonna have a
time.
ban on miraculous content.
No.
Yes.
Oh man, guys, I have so much miraculous stuff to talk about.
Did season 5 come out?
Ooh, it's still kind of coming out. It's weird because production companies.
I saw a video of something and it
Don't
said
spoil.
season 5 spoilers, and I was like, what is there to spoil in this show? I feel like it's
Don't spoil it.
always
Oh my
the same.
God.
I didn't see it. I didn't watch the
Okay.
episode. So I was like,
It's like Ryan, I'm the only one here
season
who
5
cares about this.
spoilers.
Yeah. So what's happening is weird. This is not what we were going to talk about today, but now it is. So
The
miraculous.
consequences of making a miraculous joke as we start a miraculous discussion.
This just reminds me of how much wealth of knowledge I have about it. So like Miraculous is made by 2 or 3 different animation companies.
Okay.
And it's weird because they're parent owned by Disney at this point, but then they also have this thing called Gloop and Zag and everything like that. They're like companies. And they all kind of fight to be the one who premieres episodes, especially in different countries because it gives them more money and everything if they're the ones who premiere it. And so like it's this whole kind of custody battle of the show itself. And so like it will premiere on television in like Portuguese. And then you're like, well, I don't really understand Portuguese and there's no subtitles, so I don't really get this. And so there are like spoilers that float around from people who will like pirate it and stuff, but like it's a fully different language and there's no like translation or anything. And so like Disney Plus put out like the first 9 episodes of the season on their thing months ago. Like beginning of the year, maybe even last year. And everyone's just been kind of waiting because it's like a 26 episode season. And so it's just like hard because some people have spoilers online and I just like don't look at anything that's miraculous online because I'm like I don't know what's going on and I don't want to get spoiled.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so
Right.
dramatic. Yeah, that's it.
It reminds me of JoJo and Netflix.
Mm,
Part 6 of JoJo came out, and Netflix bought the rights to it. And they did
sure.
like a batch release of just like releasing it in 3 parts, but like all at once, of course, of like a year and a half,
Yeah.
which was really annoying because in Japan they didn't like whoever had the rights to it was doing episode like weekly releases, so they're getting
Sure.
spoiled by like the English version of it.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's exactly the
Yeah.
same deal. Yeah. So a bunch of different people are releasing it at different rates and it's just like however you're watching it, you just kind of have to try to focus only on that because
Mhm.
otherwise you have risks.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
was just surprised there were spoilers because I thought it was like sort of like a Phineas and Ferb type show where it's like every episode is
No.
different, but it's all
There's
like
hella
generally
lore
the same
now.
plot.
Nah. It's like that's definitely how it was. But like end of season 2, they started lore and they've only ever increased it since then. It's a full blown show now. It got Clone Wars. Um and it's great. Oh man. All right, I'm done. Tell me about Reddit.
I don't know. Basically,
Wait,
It's-
wait. Oh, I meant the other one. Sorry, we're talking internet drama, not Reddit this time. If you want to tell me about Reddit, you totally can. If there's more there, but
yeah,
also I meant Kick.
Reddit
Yeah,
basically is still protesting. Some people are,
yeah.
and some
Some
subreddits have gone not safe for work,
sure.
and it makes the website very dicey to look at now.
Do you guys think like if that's at all impactful, or like if it's just kind of a blip on Reddit's radar that they don't really care about?
I don't think it's gonna make that much of an impact, and I could
Mhm.
also see Reddit be like, okay, if you guys want to like keep it not safe for work, we're still gonna run ads on some pages.
Oh, interesting.
I could see them doing that. I don't know.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of money to be made off of people downloading their app. That like even this perceived blowback like will probably fade away and like
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
and so it'll be worth. And
Fair.
they had like a traffic increase the day that like the blackout started because a lot of people are like, ooh, what's on Reddit? What's still open?
Sure. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Kind of defeats the purpose.
Although weird then, because
Exactly.
then most of the popular sites were down, so there wasn't a lot to see.
Yeah.
Sure.
There were still some subreddits that like stayed open.
Yeah.
hmm
So it's very interesting.
And you said that they might like replace moderators on things?
Yeah, they've threatened that, and I
Mhm.
could sort of see that. I mean,
I'm
some of
just
like the
figuring
big
out people that'll work
subreddits,
with them. Yeah.
some of the smaller ones I probably don't care about, but some of the bigger ones, or like they could just like make their own version of it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I was thinking I'm surprised some of the big like mainstays on the popular page aren't just run by Reddit. Like
Yeah,
I think Ask Reddit is one of the most popular ones. That one didn't go down, and I was thinking, I don't know if it is, that might just be administered by Reddit, which is why it didn't, because that would seemingly make sense. But then
Mhm.
some of the other ones, like our picks, is one of the like big protesting ones right now, and that's like a mainstay. It would be it seemed like something that you'd want to just have of like
Yeah.
we want, but I can also be like we want to make money, and so we don't want to pay people. So
Mhm.
you can just have these volunteers do it, and they're really involved, and we don't
yeah.
care about them. So
And Reddit
Yeah.
sometimes steps in with that. So back when Willow was coming out, and I watched
Right.
for the first 2 episodes, there was a subreddit about it, but I don't know. I guess there was some drama behind the scenes, and the moderator of that subreddit left. And if there's
Oh.
no moderator in our subreddit, no one can post.
Oh.
And so like there was like a week with no episode discussion. And apparently you can request a Reddit to like moderate a subreddit. There's no moderator.
yeah,
So
That's interesting.
I
I
know
guess.
Reddit will periodically go through and ban subreddits that are unmoderated. Um, but then yeah, if it's popular enough, people can request to step in.
I'm not a Reddit girl. I find the interface entirely too confusing and I can't search anything. And why would I want something that I can't like tell it what I want? It just tells me what I want. You don't know what I want. But anyway, I like guess I was always kind of thinking of it as a bit of like wild west of the internet and not really like that moderators weren't that mandatory. So that's really interesting that they like are like
I
that you
think
can't
it's been
post without it.
trending more and more mainstream.
yeah.
Um,
Definitely has. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, back in the olden days, before I was there, yeah, I've heard stories of like you just see gore and
Right. It was kind of
like
like
really like 4chan, like
that was
really
literally what I was gonna
dark
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
level, deep
Yeah.
recesses of the internet. But
Yeah. I don't know. I have thought more and more about doing a Rainy Tuesdays Tumblr. Just to fully go 2014.
I mean, it seems like it's
So
coming back.
it does.
Speaking of other internet sites,
Yes.
Twitch and Kick.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah,
asking a little bit about that. Essentially, there's a rival competitor to Twitch called Kick,
Mhm.
and it
Which,
sort
correct
of
me if I'm wrong, wasn't Kick a texting service, or is it just
this
a
it
is
yes,
place?
it
different.
this is spelled differently though.
Okay.
This one has a
Okay.
C in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's Kick
just
Kick,
the
not
normal.
Kick
Yeah,
Kick.
not KIK. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and it started because I think a few months ago, I don't know. Twitch drama is always so silly.
Always.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of streamers that were like playing gambling games and partnering
Right.
with some of the sites and stuff and not disclosing that, and then a lot of
Like
people were
to
getting
young
addicted.
fans and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that's
hmm
probably not great. And so Twitch banned gambling, and
hmm
a lot of streamers were very upset about that. And so some of them moved over to a new website called Kick. It's founded by another streamer that got banned off of Twitch, and there's a lot of like actually money behind it because um, since it's their own site, they have a lot of advertisers, but they also
Yeah.
have a lot of money from gambling sites and a lot of money from crypto.
Fair.
And so,
Classic.
like,
Not like cream of the crop.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the ad revenue on Twitch is like 50-50, where like 50 goes to the creator, 50 goes back to Twitch.
Okay.
Okay.
And Kick is offering 95.5, where Kick will only take 5%.
Okay.
Jeez.
So
Okay.
it's like it looks really good. Um,
Yeah.
but like gambling is heavily promoted on the site. Like there are
Mhm.
ads for that like all the time. So it's like not great of a look.
Right.
And then they
Wasn't it
keep
also, like, originally, like, just kind of laughed at a bit because it was, like, super right wing?
yeah.
Like, it was just for people who wanted to, like, not have to be woke or whatever, like
Like
Yeah.
all the knockoff Twitter social media sites for
Yeah,
conservatives. Yeah.
exactly.
It's very interesting because I think Kick might actually be fine and stick around for a bit.
Yeah,
And it's interesting because like there's a group of people that like run the website, and some are Twitch streamers and some are like actual business people.
okay,
And one of the guys, I think it was like one of Andrew Tate's guys or something, is like one of
sure.
the dudes, and they're very much considering like kicking him off because
Honestly,
he's
it's
just causing
fun.
bad PR for them. And it's like,
I mean,
yeah, you can stream your
Yeah,
stuff, but at the end of the day, like we
like,
want
the
to
I
thing
make
mean,
is
that'd be a
money.
business.
Yeah.
And if you keep being in the news by grabbing big streamers, you're gonna want to make your brand a little bit better.
like, it's not like the woke agenda, it's just, like, when you have more people around, like, those people wanna be respected, and so, like, if you have someone who's a prominent figure in the company who's like, "I don't respect half of all people at least," then,
Mhm.
like, that's not a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like to make money as a corporation or just to be like economically sound, you either have
Yeah,
to be neutral or liberal. And
yeah.
going conservative is not going to end well because liberals will hate you and conservatives aren't the
They're
most
not gonna support you,
safe
like
market. They don't care
yeah,
enough.
they change their mind
So
on the flip of, like, the
it's
wind
just
kinda
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Ugh,
I think the big news with Twitch or Kick this week is they signed over like one of the biggest Twitch streamers. His name's XQC.
okay,
Um, I don't know, not my cup of tea at all.
gotcha.
He's a bit of an idiot and causes
Damn,
lots of
okay.
problems, and I think that's why people find him funny. But he's got a very
Sure.
devoted fan base, and
Yeah.
so like that was a big buy for Kick. But they gave him a deal of $100 million, and it's like,
I mean,
how do you have this
Yeah.
money? There's no way you
Right,
have
like,
this
did
money.
you
Like,
just start? Like,
so it's very suspicious, and so they might get like
um,
investigated by the FTC. Like, how are you making this money? Like,
right.
yeah, where's this coming from?
I did see Pokimane, like, talk about it a little bit,
yeah,
just in the sense that she was like, "It's dumb that people are moving over there," like, seemingly for that reason of being like,
Just for a big payday and
right, like, you don't know how, like, stable that is kinda
yeah.
yeah,
thing.
Which
Yeah.
like
there was a similar. This happened a few years ago with a site called Mixer, and they
Okay.
bought the biggest
Mhm.
streamers at the time, Shroud and Ninja, who both played like
Right.
FPS games and Fortnite, and they
Mhm.
both got like $1 million deal. And Mixer was sponsored by Microsoft, but
Oh,
that
then
shut
they have
down
one,
within like
right.
9 months. And so those streamers
oh
like
jeez.
got to keep the money and then just go back to Twitch.
I was gonna
Oh,
say, like,
so
did they
maybe
go back to Switch?
So
that's their plan of like just make all the money and then it inevitably falls to Twitch and then they just return.
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
but what's interesting, there's a lot of drama with the guy they just signed because he causes lots of problems. And his first stream ever, he started watching The Dark Knight on it,
Oh,
which like you
okay.
can't just like watch a
No,
movie with thousands of people.
copyright,
Um,
yeah.
so like the site owners came in and were like, "Hey, you gotta like stop watching this, and then you have to like delete the video of this because like we can't have this on the site."
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, okay." And the next day starts watching all of Breaking Bad,
Oh my
Oh
god.
jeez.
and so
Huh.
Just someone who likes to cause problems,
I guess
truly,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Sure. Alright. If that's your thing. Um,
I don't know. Kick might stay around a little bit unless the government looks at it and is like, "Oh,
Seems
you guys
shady.
have no money,
yeah, I'm definitely
or you guys
curious.
aren't paying taxes."
Right.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Mm.
Twitch and streaming is so interesting to me because it's so outside of any of my interests and that it's so drama heavy of like I
Yeah,
don't know anything about it. I'll never ever watch it. And but some people are very, very devoted and there's constant like infighting and drama.
yeah,
But
But I
what's
also feel like if you're
interesting is
not watching the streams, you don't know any of the drama, and so then you're like, "Do I have to watch for hours and hours to have any context of what's going on?" And it's like, "No, not really," but it feels like that sometimes.
no, yeah, and there's a subreddit that like covers like all the Twitch drama and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
It's crazy. It's like I don't know, and it's so stupid too. It's over the stupidest things.
Always.
Yeah.
Although I do know, like, there was that one, I totally forget her name, but she, like, had a bunch of beef with, like, PewDiePie, and then, like, she threw her cat and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, which is always
It's
like it's like I don't care. Like
I mean,
there are
like,
people with
animal
real
abuse isn't, like,
problems.
drama. It's just, like, let it like, what do you it's just weird that people are like, "Oh my god, she's totally fine." Um, yeah. I don't know, that seems to be a common issue, I feel like I've seen a lot of, like, "Oh my god, this person just, like, shoves their dog or, like, throws their cat or whatever," and it's like, "Do we like these people?"
There's a lot of like relationship which as well. All very
Sure. Yeah. Like,
Ryan, you might know this, but I know that YouTube also has a streaming competitor to Twitch, but it feels like Twitch has never really lost any steam. Why did YouTube never really like gain any ground,
that's a
but
good
still
question.
exists?
I think just the UI, like I think because they don't really promote it that much, like the YouTube
Mm.
gaming, they don't really promote it that much, and they like actually have strict, which has always been very loose with the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like people watch like Kitchen Nightmares on there, or just like other shows. Kitchen Nightmares is the biggest one for some reason. But like you can just
Fascinating.
watch shows, and like that used to be okay for the longest time, and then same with like I don't know. Some people do very adult content on their Twitch
I know,
Yeah,
like, the
that's
streams,
what I was
hot
saying. I know
like
like
the
stuff,
hot tub
that
like,
streams.
Twitch is
yeah.
kind of infamous for a lot of that. And one of the streamers that Kick just got is one of those big
Oh.
I don't really know how to characterize those um streamers.
Provocative,
Yeah,
like,
provocative, I guess.
yeah.
Like so but that Twitch has always kind of sort of let that slide and then sometimes
Yeah.
crack down weirdly. It's
Seems
like
like a
I don't know.
creator by creator sort of
Yeah.
Yeah.
rule. Yeah.
YouTube is very clear with the rules, and then
Mhm.
like YouTube has also signed a few streamers, but I don't think they've really seen much success with it.
It's funny
And
because, like,
yeah,
with the live streaming, I've definitely seen a lot more live streaming on YouTube, but, like, not at all gaming. Like, it's more so, like, commentary channels and stuff like that.
yeah,
And whether that's just my own algorithm or what, I don't know, but I do feel like it's not really used as much for, like, gaming, streaming kinda
it
things.
is a bit. I just don't think it's as popular.
Yeah.
I think Twitch's UI is just. It's also
Mhm.
interesting too that like Kick is just basically like stealing from Twitch. The UI is the exact same. The categories are
Fascinating.
like exact same names, just
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
we've talked about it before, but I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
With,
Like
like,
when you
streaming
have
platforms.
a service that everyone knows and works really well, why don't you just copy? Yeah, like streaming services, but
Like,
or
Netflix did
social
it right.
medias, like
Yeah.
just
Although,
copy.
I will say something about YouTube is, like, I think what they're doing, while it's, like, not revolutionary or anything like that, it sort of feels like they're doing, like, a jack of all trades sort of thing. Like, they have the streaming, they have shorts, they have their, like, long form content and everything like that. And it feels like a really good business decision, like, longevity-wise.
yeah.
Like, they're always going to have, like, all these sorts of content, and I think that's smart.
The biggest thing is YouTube doesn't make money.
Yeah, fair.
It's a giant sinkhole because it costs them so much money to store those videos because they don't
Sure,
charge people to post videos,
that's true.
and so
Yeah.
they're spending like all this money on base stuff.
Do you guys know anyone who, like, pays for YouTube? Like, just the premium thing for, like, no ads or anything? I don't think I've
No.
ever met a single person who does that. Which, like, yeah, why would you? But, like, I was just thinking about that. I feel like I know people who, like, pay for silly things, in my opinion. Like, I know at least 2 people who did the, like, Twitter thing, but, like, I
Oh,
don't
really?
know, yeah, but, like,
The Twitter one has got to be the most useless
oh, totally.
subscription. Like at
You can
least you
subscribe to
get
certain
something with
people's
YouTube.
profiles.
Well,
That's
apparently they've made
true.
it so you can't follow people normally, so I
Yeah,
guess the only way you can.
but yeah,
It's a good business model, just killing your system and then charging for those same services that were
or
there
like
before.
a worse version of it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That'll surely keep all the people that were using it.
Yeah.
yeah,
So Spotify recently announced they're adding a higher tier for higher quality music.
which is so
Really?
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm. I feel
um,
like it's already really expensive for Spotify Premium.
yeah,
Well, Spotify Premium alone is really expensive. It's only
definitely.
worthwhile when you bundle it with something else,
Like Hulu. I also
like
though want
Hulu.
to switch to like a Duo account. Because like it's still in my mind a little too much because Hulu doesn't have tons that I watch.
Yeah. And I
No.
think
Um,
Hulu might
And
be
if the
going
Hulu's
away
going
within like
yeah,
the next year.
yeah.
yeah.
So maybe not too worth it. Sorry, Spotify. Although I really think they should take my idea of like a free audiobook a month kind of thing. I think that's just a good idea.
And
They might move
also,
towards that if they are starting to have audiobooks on the platform.
Well, they already hit like they have so many audiobooks. Like
But,
instead of
like, if
just
they
one
start pushing it
person.
more, because I feel like you don't hear
That's
about it.
true.
Like, because
That's
when they
fair.
started going all in on podcasts, they really started pushing it.
That's
But they
true.
have not really done that with audiobooks. But they were really successful with podcasts. It's my go-to podcast
Oh
platform, and
yeah,
I'm sure for a lot
easily.
of people it is when
Hey, shout out to us
it's
if
not
you're listening
before.
on podcast. There's a question on this episode. I don't know what it is yet, but it's there, and you should answer it.
And there's a video on our Spotify of
It's
us
your
if you wanna
cute
see what
little
we look like.
faces. Yeah. Um, see some fun posing from Adam.
I
Well,
think it's so wild that they added videos because of Joe Rogan.
I know, but like, thanks, Joe
Thank you,
Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, like you did something good for the world. Um, at least one thing. But anyway, speaking of
I was
YouTube, oh, you go on. You go on.
I was gonna say, speaking of Disney mergers, Hulu's probably gonna get merged in plus with them. Sure.
Fair.
Mhm.
Apple at buying Disney.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I need to hear so much more immediately.
It's like very unofficial and very much
Okay.
murmurs, but like Apple's getting very friendly with Disney, and they've always had like a pretty good relationship and stuff. Like even
Is it
back to
bad that
Steve
I like
Jobs.
didn't even think that was like doable? Like I would have said that Disney could buy Apple, but not the other way around.
I mean,
Apple
Apple has
is
tons of money,
But like
but
compared
biggest
to
company in the
Disney,
world.
Disney
I mean, if you look at
fascinating.
stock value, like Disney stock is about like 300 million
Uh-huh.
and or 300 billion, and Apple's is close to trillion. It's in the trillion, so
Oh
they could
wow.
definitely do it
Okay.
Hmm.
Gotcha. But why?
because Apple needs content.
Actually, I'll just go ahead and say it. Apple TV, they're coming out with better and better stuff, according to the masses.
But no one's watching it. No one's
That's
subscribed
true.
to Apple TV.
That's true. I'm watching it on the high seas. Um, yeah, that's fair. I don't know. They can
It's
buy
just
Disney.
there's just
I
too
don't
many
care.
there's just too many services.
Yeah,
The
I think
streaming game is not profitable, which is
no.
wild that so many companies are keep making more. Like
Yeah,
no one is going to pay for all of these.
no. I do think though, like it feels like that sort of Russian nesting doll thing where it's like Disney is buying like Hulu and ESPN and everything like that, and then Apple is buying that. It just feels like
Yeah,
I guess they are slowly becoming one
I mean
thing.
that's just like American or
Yeah,
really the world corporate of like every single company is owned by someone else, and there's
yeah,
really only a few that run the world.
right.
there's
You'd think the
lots.
government would have to step in if Apple
I
bought
think they
Disney.
probably
Mm,
Those are
would.
two the
It's too
biggest
big of a
companies in the
purchase.
world. There's
it
no
feels
way.
icky.
There's
Yeah,
no way. Even if we don't do that anymore and we just let corporations do whatever they want,
I'm
that
just like,
seems too big to be like, "Hey, we have laws against this. Maybe we should use them, dust off the books, bring them into force every now and again."
with
I
all
mean,
the like
there is an
vacation.
argument for merging them because Apple is a computer and cell phone manufacturer, and Disney doesn't do either of those things. The only conflict of
Why would I
interest is
want Disney
media.
to do that? I
Well,
don't
Apple
want
would still be the one
Disney
doing that,
phones.
and Disney would probably still stay the same, but you just get more merging, more integration.
I guess my thing is like,
I don't know.
what's the point? Like, I get when like Apple buys a tech company because they're a tech
I mean,
company.
Amazon buys companies all the time
Amazon's
in
different. Amazon's trying
completely
so
different
hard,
areas.
but like,
Amazon just wants to be the only company in the world,
yeah.
and they're on
I
their
mean,
way to doing
they're
so.
getting there, but like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't
I
know.
think just because they could combine their revenue.
Sure. Well, yeah.
I'm more shocked that any of these companies have not bought Netflix.
That's a great
Like, how
point.
has no one stepped in and done that? Like, you'd think Netflix is big, popular,
Yeah.
losing subscribers nowadays with their uh,
Oof.
password sharing thing, but like, why not just do that? It's definitely cheaper to buy Netflix, and you got tons of content right there and a well-known name brand.
We have also talked about for like years at this point of like getting bundle packages, which we haven't really seen other than the like Disney ESPN and like Hulu thingy. But like, I
But like
just,
Apple, if you want to push your Apple
yeah,
TV service, then just merge it with Netflix, which people already
exactly.
probably have,
Mhm.
and then but now you own it and can make the money. Although
Right.
not like Netflix makes a ton of money, but
Yeah.
But like, if
easier
you
to
have
find
two
Disney.
platforms worth of shows, it's like double the amount of people that could be interested, right?
But or
Like,
if you don't even need. I mean, I would think you probably don't want two platforms since Disney's now merging all of theirs. It's probably easier
sure.
just to merge one. You have all your loyal subscribers from the one that's been in existence the longest, and
It
now with
comes with
your
Max.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Call it Mac.
Apple Max. Buy HBO while you're at it.
Yeah, buy everything. Why don't they all just become one big thingy? Who needs a government when you could have corporate? Ugh,
I don't know. It's interesting.
But I
I
don't know.
could
Maybe Netflix doesn't want to be bought because it seems like someone would have scooped them up in their
yeah,
time.
I think Netflix is an unsustainable buy because it's only streaming services. And
sure.
like
Yeah, maybe.
all the streaming services really took a hit this like last year. Like I
Yeah,
think across the board, all of them lost subscribers.
which
And
is
like uh Max really took a big hit with that
Oh, I
because
wonder why.
um part of it was switching over, and then
part of it
well,
was
even
naming
when it was
itself
before,
Max.
uh they were listing that they had like millions of subscribers, but there's a thing where like AT&T you can technically get HBO through it.
Right.
And so they counted every single AT&T customer as someone that used Max.
A little shady. Not quite accurate.
Yeah. Um and so it was like, "Oh wow, we lost 75 million viewers." That's not great.
Bad
Um
luck.
so it's just interesting, and like all the streaming services have like scaled back their projects, like offering things with less of a budget. And I
Mhm.
think Netflix is also having that problem too. And Netflix talked about changing their model recently where it's like instead of like trying to like promote a show like every 50 days, they're going to try like promote it for like 94, try to get like hype
So
going around it.
okay. I mean, that
That's
would
fair.
do something to fix what people complain a lot about of like
I didn't even know that show
Netflix,
existed, kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
really not promoting things or like ditching it as soon as the
thing comes
like
out.
before the life cycle even really starts.
Something that Netflix does that YouTube has now started doing, just to add on to the YouTube jack of all trades argument, is now YouTube has a random video generator that if you're like, I don't know what to watch, it has a button that it'll just make you watch a video.
Really?
Have I tried it? No. Will I?
That sounds
Probably not.
dangerous to
Yeah,
use. I
exactly.
don't think I'd
But
want to use that feature.
I just thought I'd mention.
There's a lot of YouTube videos. Like there's like lectures and stuff. There's like how-to
Mm,
videos, gameplay
Yeah.
channels. You could be on like part 56 of some game you've never heard.
true.
Or like I was just not I did it. I fixed my car with YouTube video and then I was helping my sister. I told her what I had done so she could
Right.
do the same thing. Um but yeah, like a car video of like, here's how to fix this random part in a car you've never heard of.
Oh my
I
god.
got a video like that too, and the intro was so annoying that I turned it off at like 15 seconds.
The video I had changed the rear light on my Mazda and it was so great. It was just like random dude starts. here's what you need. This is what you do. 2 minutes, we're good.
I respect
This is
it.
what I want.
Yeah, that's great.
Those are great. I
Yeah.
watched a grilling video, like a how-to on like grilling outside when I did my
Yeah.
cookout a few months ago. And like I don't know, it was so helpful. It was 3 minutes and right to the point. There's so much good YouTube content out there.
What
Yeah.
I really like is that you can Google a question and it'll just get you the specific part of the YouTube video that you need. So you can ignore their intro and just hear like, oh, this is how you do that thing.
Yeah.
And I love it. I use that for like learning little editing things all the time.
Speaking of misleading statistics, Netflix like released like watch numbers for different things they released, and apparently I think it was like The Gray Man is the most watched show ever or
I don't
movie ever
even know what that
with
is.
220
It's
million
got
viewers.
What even is that?
what's his name? It's got like the one like pretty boy actor in it.
Noah Centineo. That's a Netflix favorite pretty boy.
But Ryan Gosling.
Well, fair
like
enough.
got super famous. I only know it because it's actually fairly active on AO3. I've seen a lot of fics for it.
Okay,
So
so maybe it is popular.
at least that's
At least with fan
a
fiction.
bad judge of success, but it's one of
Oh,
my
I
judges
don't
of how
know.
successful a thing is. I don't know. I think the fan fiction community is not
They
very
harp on things.
predictable. So
Sure.
you don't know what some people are gonna really love. Like when people are like, "There's no fan fiction for Avatar," but it made a ton of money, so obviously people love it. It just doesn't
Mm,
overlap like that.
that's interesting, yeah.
So I was wrong actually. It was The Red Notice.
That I have read
Oh,
of.
I watched that with
Was it
Gal Gadot and The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I watched it. It was fine.
The most popular film
Like a
ever,
solid comedy
230
action
million.
film.
Was it that popular?
I don't know if it was popular.
I feel like I
I
saw
feel
a
like I never
lot
heard
about it
anything
for
about
2
it,
days, and then I saw nothing again. Like,
but it was pretty good.
Okay,
mm,
gotcha. Because like they released like their top 10. It goes like Red Notice, Don't Look Up, Adam Project, Bird Box, Gray Man, We Can Be Heroes, and then Knives Out.
Knives
So
Out
all
is the only
movies.
one I've seen.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Knives Out had like a pretty big
Yeah,
As
popularity
it
around
feel
should
like
have. It
Knives
was
Out
so
was
good.
another judge of success for me is if it's all for my TikTok, which
Yeah,
Knives Out was.
totally.
Yeah.
Which is also a bad judge because TikTok is so user specific.
True,
So,
yeah.
like I thought the D&D movie was super successful because it was all over my TikTok and it wasn't.
It was in my heart, though.
It was in my heart too. I wanted it to be successful because it
I
was
think
really
it
good.
was. Yeah, it was really fantastic. 10 out of 10.
I think it's
Um,
just interesting because Netflix is saying all those movies had over 100 million.
yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe
I wonder
I
how
don't
they
know.
count because I know isn't YouTube counts viewers at like a certain point in the video.
Yeah.
Like it's
True.
pretty early on, but
Yeah.
it's at least enough. I think it's like 30 seconds or
It
something.
depends on the length of the video.
Maybe that's what Netflix does of like if you open it and it's on
Oh,
there for like just enough seconds that you didn't accidentally do it, they're like it counts. So people who might have just watched the first minute and abandoned it would be counted as viewers. And maybe it counts it each time that happens. So that
right.
if you start and stop and start and stop, that's like 5 different views right there.
Which I will say, like, if I do it on my Roku TV, like, if I'm just trying to read the description of it, the movie starts playing. So I have to, like, pause it to read
Yeah,
the
I actually
description.
really hate that.
I hate it too.
My only gripe with
Slow your
Netflix,
roll.
And I
and it's
wonder if they
not
even count
every
ads at the
version
end.
of Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Interesting.
Although it doesn't always play the movie. Sometimes it plays the trailer.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Sure.
it does just play the movie or show or
Starts.
whatever if
I'm
there's
like,
not a
stop.
trailer. And I'm like,
I don't even know if I'm
want
on
it.
the right episode yet, kind of thing. Like,
So I'll have to, if I'm like browsing Netflix, I'll be like speeding.
yeah,
I
exactly.
can't stay on it too long.
Yeah.
Can't catch me. Oh my god.
Which is actually funny. It brings a point sometimes people make against Netflix is that they'll spend so much time looking through Netflix and never watching anything, which I don't understand because I can't do that because it autoplays everything. I can't spend a lot of time browsing
True.
because I'll get annoyed too quickly.
Yeah.
I go in knowing what I want to watch because I've heard about it elsewhere. I watch
Right.
it and then I'm out.
Did you ever watch that Kaleidoscope show?
No, no.
I
I
wanna.
totally
Yeah,
put
I
it on my
totally forgot
list. I
about it
totally
too.
forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that at some point. I know I will. But when that point is, could be
Yeah,
like 2 years
I've
from now.
nah, there's that, new reality dating show, The Ultimatum, the
Right, the
queer
queer edition.
edition
Yeah.
that I have seen a ton on my TikTok and really wanna watch it, and but
Mhm.
don't have any time at all.
I just don't think I have like the emotional capacity to care about another dating show other than Love is Blind. Like I Love is Blind is the only reality show I've ever gotten into, and I just don't think I could care about more than just that because it's so much drama that it's just like I like the few months between like seasons that I get of just like a break of calmness of not thinking about, oh my god, they said what? Um but speaking of drama, um there's some stuff on YouTube, that I just wanted to, like, get y'all's take on. So first and foremost, do you guys know Colleen Ballinger slash Miranda Sings?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I feel like I might have heard the name Miranda Sings before.
Miranda Sings was like that, like, big red lipstick, like, brunette white woman kinda thing, where
Oh,
she would,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
talk
yeah.
really weird.
Yes, I found her
Um
very annoying and never watched anything.
Yes, same. But she was a very, very like OG YouTuber kind of thing
Mhm.
of like huge, I want to say early 2010s, was like maybe peak. Um, like, yeah, not someone I ever watched, but someone that you couldn't really avoid.
Yeah.
Like it was just a very popular character online. And actually to the point where she even got like a Netflix show. And like had a few seasons on there kind of thing. So in my life, in 2020, quarantine thriving, I got into this one specific YouTube drama creator because this is when all the stuff was happening with like Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star and everything. And like the way that this little Irish boy conveyed it was very entertaining. Um his name is Adam McIntyre. And he was just very fun, like very, very like personable, love an Irish accent. And like the first video that I had actually ever seen of him was Dairy Boy reacts to Dairy Girls because I love the show Dairy Girls on
Oh,
Netflix.
I'm
It's
rewatching
so
Dairy
good.
Girls now.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
It's such a fun one. And he was like, he's from Derry, so he was like reacting to it, and I was like, that's so fun, that's so interesting. And then like he had this drama stuff that was also recommended to me, and I was like, I liked this guy in that Derry video, sure. And just been intermittently watching his stuff ever since then because he keeps his videos typically to like maybe 12 minutes, and it's like that's all I really want to know about these like horrible, horrible people online. And everything like that. But like in 2020, he released a video that was like Colleen Ballinger's a liar or something like that. I'm probably getting the name wrong. Um, and basically it was talking about how she like he didn't say the word groomed, but how she groomed him from like a very young age and like, she sent him, like, lingerie at some point. She, like, had him, like, whenever she was having, like, marital issues, she would text him and be like, "Oh my god, like, I need you, a, like, 14-year-old's advice on me, a 30-year-old woman's, like, marriage and sex life," kinda thing. It's just ultimately creepy, really weird, um, not great.
Mhm.
At some point, she, like, gave him full access to her, like, Miranda Sings Twitter account, and he, like, tweeted for her. And he made, like, a joke about Miranda Sings coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan. And people were like, "Oh, it's queer baiting, blah, blah, blah," kinda thing, and, like, sure, but it's also, like, not really, like, queer baiting. It's very clearly a joke. It's just not, like, the biggest attack on the L plus community. Um, and so it's just one of those things. But like she's like very quickly after that tweet turned on him and was like, "You're a horrible person. You're spreading so many lies about me." Blah 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 blah. And like sent her like fan base to kind of just make his life like a living hell kind of thing. Um, and
Classic
I know.
YouTuber response.
Exactly. And so like 3 years later, he's doing fine. Like he has his own YouTube channel. He's kind of like distanced himself from all of that. It's like clearly like something that he dealt with, but it's not really something he wants to like talk a ton about. Because like it was his childhood and it was like really, really like tough for him. And like then this other 30-year-old woman named Cody Tyler released like because Colleen Ballinger had sent like a screen recording of all of the text messages between her and Adam. So Cody released those text messages to kind of expose Colleen Ballinger like 3 years after the fact. Um, and it like brought up all of this stuff, and so now a bunch of other people are coming forward being like she was really inappropriate with me too. And it's kind of forced this like 20-year-old into this role of like being the head of this like hey, like she treated children really really badly kind of thing,
Right,
even
like
though he
whistleblower
Yeah.
yeah,
status, like sure, yeah.
even though like he didn't ask for it kind of thing, like another person released all of those text messages of like her being inappropriate with him, and he
Mhm.
had to be like, yeah, that's me. Like a 15-year-old talking about sex with like this 30 some year old woman, and everything like that, and like um, it's like text messages of her like asking if he's like a virgin and like his favorite position and everything. And it's just
Oh,
like really
jeez.
icky.
Yeah.
But it's just like I think like the main thing I wanted to talk about with all of this is it's like especially with the comeback of like Smosh officially this week,
Yeah.
which is a whole other internet thing. Like Smosh is back and they own themselves again, and that's like exciting. Um, but like, are there any good OG YouTubers? Because I feel like it just keeps happening. Or like, to be fair, these were not like the YouTubers that I watched in like early 2010s. I was very much on like the British side of YouTube with like Charlie is so cool like and like Emma Blackery. But like this very like LA centric version of it was like not doing great. And like Good Mythical Morning, I stand by. I love them. I watch them every morning. But like I don't know. I just it's interesting like that these power dynamics and like parasocial relationships, even though they weren't talked about back then, were clearly like there from the get go.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know.
I mean,
That's
I think there are a bunch of OG YouTubers that did not turn out to be terrible people.
sure.
Um, like it was the most popular YouTuber at the time. I don't remember his name. Niga Higa.
Oh, loved him.
Like loved him. I think he still makes videos, but
Yeah,
nothing
he's a
ever bad
podcaster
happened
thing.
about
Yeah,
him. But I feel like there's probably a that YouTube allows anyone the chance to be famous, and
right,
people can't always handle that, or it exposes a lot of bad. If you suddenly have a ton of power over a lot of people, you have
right.
opportunity to do bad things that you previously were never able to do,
Hmm.
and now you feel like you're invincible, and so you're like, well, now
Yeah,
I'm going to do all these bad things because I can.
right.
And so, I mean, it's like a meme of how often a YouTuber ends up being horrible and has to put out a
Yeah,
really bad apology video. Because I just think that one, maybe the type of person who starts doing that is not always the best person to begin with. If you're looking for
sure.
attention,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I don't know, it might not be, maybe it's correlation, not causation, but just probably not a good start. And then suddenly having a lot of fans that you have a lot of power over and can manipulate.
Yeah.
hmm. I guess like something that and maybe the like focus that I've seen is like the very kid centered content. Those are the ones that seem to be like coming out as problematic. Um, and like, because like Miranda Sings was like targeted towards children, even though like clips of it have also come out and they're also horrendous and icky. But like clearly targeted towards children. Same with like all of Shane Dawson's stuff. Same with like the James Charles thing. Like he was very like teen focused. With him though, he was also a teenager when he started it. Whereas like the like Shane Dawson and like Colleen Ballinger, they were like I think in their 20s when they started it.
Yeah.
Um but like yeah, it's just like this interesting dynamic of like um 20s to 30s people targeting content towards like preteens and teens. Um and then like it's I don't know, it's I'm not one for like, oh, we need stricter like guidelines on platforms or whatever, because like I think that can get into a really dicey area. But then like it does just it comes down, I think, mostly to like parents being able to like teach their kids like internet safety essentially. Um
Yeah, like I'm definitely
right,
not a very anti-censorship, I would say, by
right.
corporations. Like, I think YouTube's policies are so restrictive as they become
Yes.
more and more advertiser friendly that
Yeah,
I really dislike all that. But
absolutely.
So like
oh,
YouTube has changed like
yeah.
their policy.
Um, but I think it's definitely a parent thing of making sure you know what your kids are, but probably also a personal thing of the people you watch are also human and you shouldn't hold them up to a high
Yeah.
Yeah.
standard.
Especially
You have to
like
like, I don't know, don't accept everything that they say. It's
yeah,
they could be a terrible person, you have no idea.
definitely. Um, I will say like stuff like that versus like production companies, like Good Mythical Morning, I feel like has always been um a like person friendly company because it's been a company. Versus like these other people that we're talking about are like one person kind of thing. And it's like that's just a one person's morals and values, like that this channel is centered around.
Mhm,
Versus like a company you have like the fail safe of people going through it, like the people who are editing aren't the same people who are like writing, aren't the same people who are performing kind of thing. And like as you have more like opinions and like stuff, it's like the whole like argument for like collaborative work is that it makes it like a better piece of work. But I think it also makes it generally safer. I don't know.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I think part of it is like YouTube changing its policy. Um, just sort of like didn't really create like the best content
Right.
where like posting more frequently and posting like longer videos, like or a certain like set amount of time of videos, I feel like
Yeah,
really limited creativity and I don't know, just made a lot of people famous that probably shouldn't have been.
definitely. Um, Tangentially related to the Colleen Ballinger thing, some sibling of hers, I don't know if it's a sister and a brother-in-law or a brother and a sister-in-law, but some sort of related people started like the Ballinger family channel, which family channels are shitty, and that's a hill I would like to die on at least. Of that they
yeah,
really like exploit children and everything like that. But like one of the things that happened with that was their most popular video was like their youngest child doing gymnastics, and creepy people in the comments would like timestamp compromising positions of the child while doing like
oh,
gymnastics because people are gross
Yeah.
and you shouldn't put your child on the internet like that because they can't consent to it. But
Hmm.
anyway, um like that was happening, and then YouTube stepped in and was like, hey, we're disabling these comments because creepy things are happening with it. And then Colleen Ballinger and like whichever sibling family members whatever were like, I can't believe YouTube is like not letting us post like just these wholesome family videos, blah 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 blah, blah. And it's like to the point where like YouTube reversed it and then like allowed all of that
oh,
back.
jeez.
And since then, there hasn't been that big of a push against family channels from YouTube itself. That was like the one time you saw YouTube like really step in. Um, and it's just kind of like sad to see that like they clearly had the right idea of like we shouldn't, have these comments open at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah.
and then
Mhm.
a creator wield their power to reverse a
Exactly.
seemingly good change. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. A whole time, it's just a little icky. And I hope that the children who were impacted by it get some closure and get to move on from it. Um, yeah, because right now all she's doing is just like staying silent and waiting for it to like all blow over, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, which I guess is the PR move, but not the very kind move. Alrighty, what rain on Neil's parades?
I don't know.
There. Um,
But I have too many Legos. I've been
My
packing
Lego
Legos and stuff.
Legos was what I went to as well. We were talking about this before the podcast, but Ryan and I are both kind of taking apart our Legos from our childhood homes and putting them in storage, and it's kind of a pain.
Mhm.
Like mine are really dusty, and it's kind of hard to get the dust off. So
Yeah.
that was gonna be mine. I don't have a better one.
Fair. I'm gonna Google
Anyway, it's also
best
like a
way to
little
clean
sad too.
house.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
End of an era.
Um,
yeah.
oh,
But summer.
It also reminds me how much fun I had with Legos. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'd love to have more and build more and display more if the display didn't take up a bunch of space and be very dusty.
Yeah.
fair.
But good times.
I follow a couple of Lego YouTube channels that like will like build. They're called mocks or like my own creation. Or they'll just like build stuff. So like
Mhm.
Oh,
there's like a couple Star Wars ones where like they'll build like a battle scene. Cool.
I love that. Yeah.
And it's like, dang, if only I had thousands of dollars, this is what I would do.
Yeah, that's what when I was a kid I loved watching um YouTube or like Lego big battle displays for Star Wars stuff. So they have like massive clone trooper armies and have like big bases and ships. Be like, I would love that. Just have like hundreds and thousands of the guys and the ships. And it'd be like, well, that's super expensive, and they like took their garage to do that. So
Yeah. There was another one I saw where it's like they're building like a Lego city and it goes into multiple rooms. Like there's like a train that
Ooh,
oh
goes
wow,
through and it like literally cuts into the wall.
that's
that's
fun.
pretty cool though.
Oh, that's
It is
really
very cool,
cool.
but it's also like, man, imagine like explaining that to your significant other. It's like, yeah, I'm cutting a
Sure.
hole in the wall
Oh, watch out for
to
the
expand the
train.
Lego room.
I just read on a cleaning website for the best ways to clean Legos, Silly Putty. And that
What's
I don't
makes
that?
a
know
lot
about
of
that one.
sense. It
I
makes so
I
much sense.
just looked it
Yeah,
up.
it
It
was
said
one of the things.
Lego's official recommendation is kind of soapy water with a sponge or soft cloth.
That's totally fair. I trust the Silly Putty thing. I trust the warm water. That seems like the fastest way to do it with like a bunch of them. But like Silly Putty for like little tough spots of grime, like it would just stick, poop it off.
You can clean a
Yeah.
lot of things with warm water. Oh, pro tip: if you ever need to clean a monitor, get like a glasses rag. I have one right here, and
Oh
like
yeah,
take warm water and then just move in circles,
Fair.
and it will clean it completely.
I need to do that to my computer. It's
yes, I do too. Every time we do the podcast, I'll like mess it up. Be like, oh, there's like crumbs,
yeah,
dust, and oh, there's
literally.
a mark from something.
Oh
Yeah.
man, very fair. Um, mine. However many moons ago, we were talking about like how websites changing their interface, and then it's worse and it's bad and it messes things up. Etsy did that, and I just started on Etsy.
Oh, did they really?
So they for like the way that you create a listing on it, they had it and it was great. And I did like my first 4 things. And it was easy and it was wonderful. But then they changed the way that you do it. And the first like sign of something going wrong should have been the fact that they had like a banner at the top when they put the new listing on that they were like, if you want to switch to the old version, you can. And I'm like, why would you offer that if you're like confident in your new one?
Yeah.
But I didn't, because I was like, well, this one's here. Like, I'll just like learn it because they might eventually switch to this kind of thing. And then I like filled it out, did all the things, which it takes like 5 to 10 minutes to fully fill out a listing with like all the information that you have to put on there. And every single time I would click publish or even like save as a draft, it would be like, we can't save anything, like contact support. Like I didn't think anything of the old version thing. Because like at that point it'd been however long. And so I contact support and they're like, oh, that's so weird. We'll figure it out and send you an email. And then the next day I still hadn't gotten one. So I contacted support again and I was like, hey, any updates? Like, should I like do something? And then that person was very, very helpful. They were like, hey, yeah, absolutely. Go back to the old version. And so I was like, okay. And that worked like a charm. But it was just annoying. I was like, why even switch it? And now I have to switch it back every time I'm doing like a new listing because they like their automatic one is the new one. I'm like, but that doesn't work. What's my rant? This website.
I don't know why. If you
stay
have a
as
good
that.
system, why don't you just keep it?
It was fine before. Ugh. Yeah. It's really not that different either. I think it's just a different order of the things that you fill out.
But you'd want it to work at least, like bare minimum.
Exactly. And it worked before.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything other than Legos? Or just Legos?
I can't
Just
think of
Legos,
anything.
yeah.
That's
Just
fair.
Legos, I think.
Alrighty. Well, stay away from people that are like 20 years older than you, that you watch online. They could be bad for you.
I would even just say stay away from people you watch online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know them.
You know,
You
yeah.
don't know them.
If they're like messaging you, being like, "Oh my god, the drama in my life," just like ignore them. I guess I don't know. Maybe question whether or not you should keep watching them at that point. Because like 6 years after that, stuff's gonna come out about them. I guarantee it. But anyway, watch people on Kick unless they're
Unless
committing
it's actually
fraud.
really bad.
And then go back to Twitch. And then,
Or just don't watch streaming.
or just don't watch streaming. That's
Play
fine
the games
too.
yourself. Or like
Yeah.
do other things. I don't know.
Or
I
watch
just
playthroughs. I'm a big fan of playthroughs.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
like the hand-eye coordination that I have for like knitting and sewing. At some point, as soon as I have a controller in my hand, goes away. It doesn't exist anymore. I can't do it. So yeah,
Twitch
playthroughs.
streamers are so boring unless it's like speed runs.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I can't comprehend why people love Twitch streamers so much.
Yeah.
It seems so boring.
I like there's people that I'll watch on YouTube and they'll like put up highlights of their
Yeah.
Twitch stuff. That's fun because it's the best parts.
But then you could just do a YouTube video like that.
That's what I watch. Yeah, is the YouTube video.
Well, but
of
then the stream could just not exist at all.
True. Yeah. Fair enough. Watch out for porn on Reddit.
Unless that's what you're looking for.
Unless that's what you want. And then really watch out for it. All right. Have a sunny Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.